We've got 3 bowl games taking place that day. We'll start in the Bronx, Yankee Stadium, Pinstripe Bowl, Minnesota, Syracuse. We've got Minnesota 7.5 point road favorites in this game. The total 42.5 here, pretty much across the board right now. Low total, as you would expect with Minnesota in particular. I mean, the Minnesota Golden Gophers, to say they set offenses back a few decades down the stretch, probably accurate. I mean, this is definitely a team that's had their share of struggles on that side of the football throughout the college football season. Really, it's a team that all year, they rely so heavily on running the football. And when they can't do that, it really makes it difficult for them to move the football. No question about that. We'll see how they fare here in the bowl game against Syracuse. Syracuse was really never the same after losing their first game of the year. Remember, they started the year undefeated, including wins against, Purdue and NC State. And then they lost to Clemson their first game of the year. They were never the same after that. They blown out by Notre Dame, lose by 10 at Pitt, blown out by Florida State, lose by 10 at Wake Forest. And then they do have a win in their finale, 32-23 against Boston College. Did not, though, cover the number in that game. This still feels like a lot of points to be laying with a very pedestrian, at times, Minnesota offense. And when you look at the Syracuse Orange defense, the concern, though, would be the run defense, which is far worse, I guess, for Syracuse than the pass defense. And Minnesota, just doesn't throw the football a ton. And Tanner Morgan as well, their quarterback, does have an upper body injury, so we'll have to wait and see if he is going to be available for this game. Well, he might not be. And the backup quarterbacks were very rough for Minnesota, so keep an eye on that, his status going into this game. But definitely the run defense is concerning for Syracuse. And obviously Minnesota is going to look to run the football quite a bit. That's their number one way of moving the football, that run first, run heavy offense. As far as the bowl game is concerned here, it looks like, we're going to have to, like I said, we're going to have to wait and see on Morgan with the head injury. Kali Akmanis is not someone I really trust at the backup quarterback spot. Minnesota did finish the season strong. And the one thing you want to pay attention to is coaches with a good bowl track record. PJ Fleck, perfect 3-0 against the spread in bowl games. You want to pay attention to those to those head coaches, that have a very good bowl track record. And PJ Fleck does have it. So it's probably a game I'm going to pass more than likely as we get closer to kickoff, unless I find out some kind of news in terms of an opt-out or an injury situation that impacts my decision one way or another. But the bowl track record is strong for Fleck. I just don't know if I want to lay this many points with Minnesota, even though in theory, if you look at the stats, they should have success running the football against a shaky Syracuse run defense. What do you think here, Conor? Pinstripe Bowl.
Yeah, that run defense kind of just got worn down as the year went on, too. It just got a little bit worse and worse. And Abraham, they're going to run it a ton. I mean, you got to think he gets at least 120 yards in this game. At quarterback position, Morgan or not, it doesn't matter who's back there. They can't throw it even with him. I mean, they just struggle in that regard. The defense, I thought, played well at the end of the year. Obviously, they're just playing Wisconsin, Iowa, Northwestern, Nebraska, those last few. But, Schrader looked better and all this time off. Maybe that'll help him. That last game against, was Boston College. They still won it. So maybe rest will help him out here. I'm leaning Syracuse, but I like the under here. I just run it slow. Syracuse offense, I don't think it's great. And Minnesota's defense, I thought was good, over the year. At sometimes a better in some games than others, but I think they'll make this and just do a low-scoring one. So I like the under and lean the points to Syracuse.